I don't believe it! I don't believe it! It's Bramble! They did it! They blew it up, you idiots! A scrapping scheme. They blew it up! Ah! Whoa! That's it.
Good evening. In the 40 years of the nuclear age, we've grown accustomed to its vocabulary and even somewhat hardened to its ideas. Fallout, radiation sickness, zones of destruction, megatons, even megadeaths. The phrases have become part of everyday speech. Recently, a new one has been added that has introduced a fresh sense of urgency into the nuclear debate, the nuclear winter. That's to say, the belief of some scientists on both sides of the East-West divide that a large-scale nuclear exchange would not only wreak the vast destruction and death that we all think we know about, but would throw so much dust and smoke into the atmosphere that the planet's climate would be drastically altered. The sub-zero temperatures of a nuclear winter would threaten the survival of the survivors. This thesis is the subject of several high-level inquiries, even one backed by President Reagan himself. The onus, as one authority put it, is for those who doubt the nuclear winter now to disprove it. Tomorrow night, in a documentary called On the Eighth Day, you can see the scientific evidence that lies behind the nuclear winter hypothesis. That will be followed by a special Newsnight debate, which I'll be sharing, on the strategic and defense implications of the new evidence. But we start tonight with the advent of a nuclear war itself. What would happen if Britain came under a nuclear attack? How would ordinary people survive the impact of the blast and the conditions that scientists say would result from a nuclear exchange?
The city. I've got to get away from the city. I think we lost the exhaust.
There we are.
I've got to get away from the city. It's going to get us out of here. We've got to get as far away from the city as we can. We've got to get out. Bramble's done for. We've got to move. This is episode 30. I think we lost the exhaust.
There we are.
We're not stalled though. Still in the game. We're still in the game. Just back from the local, oh, is it post office? What are they called? It's the name of our post office anyway. Oh, Parcel Force. Parcel Force. Fresh in from Australia, patrons. The boot mat, which is a TC spec. It's the squarer car, but most of the boot is the same. We'll unravel that in a sec. Here's our moulded set. It's a two-piece set, front and back, but it's designed to mould round. And also in my left hand here is the pre-made mats, lovely stuff, with a matching heel pad in the same colour. I didn't expect that. I thought that would be in black. So you know from the pictures I've been doing the trim alignment, so you're up to speed with that. So inside the car I've laid out the first piece. A little bit of trimming needed, but we'll get the coach trimmers to do this for us with the sewing machine. Let me open this door. The doors are very tight to close because the rubbers are new, but the body shop needs the rubbers fitted. So bit by bit I keep adding a bit of trim round till eventually they squish to shape, but it's always going to be a bit tight closing the doors. That's a separate conversation, but here we are, and look at the colour. Isn't that a good pick? I had to go on their swatch chart thing, and it was a bit of a am I going to get it right situation, but looks like we have got it right. Dark red they called it. Lovely matte fits over there. Hold on, let me step back. Look at that. Oh, now then, non-contrasting mats, which is fine. Don't want them to contrast really. In we go. So look at that heel pad. You even get the heel pad already with it there, but you get a heel pad with this one. Curiously higher up, but I don't mind. That is the right place. Oh, yeah, so it fits around the transmission tunnel that little bit better. Of course you've got to cut out the apertures, and I'd like that beaded in, so it's a trimmer's job. So we'll take the car up to get these fitted properly, but at least the sort of ballpark shape is there. In other words, they don't have to make those seams over the tunnel. It's already moulded in, because look what it's like. They mould in the shapes. That's just for the edge there. You trim this back. There's some instructions with it on how to fit it, but it's pretty self-explanatory how it all goes in. It is going to work. I can just tell looking at it. It just needs a little someone who's good on the machine, the sewing machine, to finish that. But the main thing was to just check the colour, because it could have gone wrong, but that's right. If we get the dash pod in, again in my left hand comes in the dash pod. Look, yeah, that's a nice little contrast. And because the seats are that one shade lighter, you'll get that contrast in colour on the seats. It won't all just blend as one. As you know, that's how we were doing it. Okay, quick clip for you. I'll lay out the boot mat in a sec. Take some still shots for you. Just thought I'd give you a 2-minute clip of where we're at. Well, while I'm on, you may as well look around the car. You know you saw me doing all these. Got the jigsaw badge in the car as well to get this pin spacing correct. You'll see that in the part 29 video, which is, I'll start editing 29 tonight, Monday night. Okay, so you'll see how hard I've got to slam. Whoops, the doors, quite hard to slam them. Okay, so I'll undo the packing off the mat for the boot, and we'll have a look at that. Well, eventually when it's straightened out, it starts to take shape round here. They must somehow mould this in, but because the boot's different on the Australian spec cars, you've got to trim this in to fit. So all we do is we get I've got a nice template to use for the boot floor, lay it over, and then they'll just sort of cut round and re-trim in. Had that done on Ruby, same mat, although I'm sure Ruby's mat was a different final finish than this. Although there's nothing wrong with this, I just think it's different top material than Ruby's was. However, it fits in and it's going to shape. It's obviously cut to shape, and it follows those profiles. I was sure that they were moulded in, but I think it's because it's been flat packed that you lose it. I'm sure that'll go. It has to really, because they've got everything else right. So I'll double check with Ruby's mat, but I'm sure when I got Ruby's mat, the same thing, it was quite flat down till you started to cut it all in. Obviously the spare wheel's not in, it's dropping into the hole there, and you've got to cut round the boot catch and trim round the area for the filler cap, and then just give it a beading edge, which is what we did with Ruby's. So that again is a trimming job, but at least the base mat's there. And I'm saying that it's moulded, even though you can't actually see the mould lines. I think it is formed to drop down. I hope it is. It looks like it is. It's not creasing up when I'm starting to follow it into these gaps, because it has to drop down here. Should do. It looks like it is. If it isn't, I'll be ordering one that is moulded, but I'm sure that's a moulding mat. It seems to be taking its shape there. I think that wouldn't want to go in so easy if it wasn't. Anyway, leave that with me. I'll find out nearer the time when we do some trimming, but just wanted to let you know some nice bits have arrived. So I'll wrap this back up for now. We don't need to think about this just yet. At least we know where we're at and we can go into stores. Little quick clip. Thanks for all your support so far. To reward you, episode 29 coming up. I'll start editing tonight, Monday night. A lot of the video is just laying out all of the trim holes. Okay, so you'll have to stick with it. It's quite an intensive episode of drilling and measuring. See you in a bit. An update for you, it is moulded because it's starting to sort of take its natural shape. Now I've unravelled it all, so we're okay. Just to get you out the confines of the workshop. Well, we all getting a bit claustrophobic in the workshop for episode 29. We didn't show you those painted brake servo, vacuum servo, and also the power steering pump. I've just realised in the edit there, they're not showing up. Let's go and find them. I'm talking of painted things accompanying me in the Mondeo, in my seat. Now I won't watch the viewfinder, I'll keep looking straight ahead. You have a look at this while I look straight ahead. Don't worry. We're chock full of goodies. The remains of the powder coating mission is in the back of the car, including the Rostyle wheels. And I have to report they've done a super job on the Rostyles. Very nice sharp definition between the silver and the black. Whoa, a bit roller coastery there. Familiar territory for anyone watching Ruby these roads, by the way. Ruby restoration project. We were up and down these roads to the powder coaters quite a lot. Picked up the last of the powder coating stuff. That'll give us a RAL 5010 rocker cover, a nice sump for the engine, some other bits and bobs in there, some of the axle. We've also got the axle back from shot blasting. That's in the back. That just needs a gloss coat going on it. So taking you away from the road to come out in the Mondeo, sorry, away from the workshop to go out on the road in the Mondeo to see what we've collected. We'll flip the lid, the hatchback, the estate car lid, and have a look when we're back at base. There we go, see you in a sec. Back at base. Breaking rust in the hot sun. The rust fought the door and the door won. The rust fought the door and the door won. There's still lots to do. This door needed a clean up, so we've gone for the Rust Busters Fast Clean B to take off the surface rust that had accumulated since the door was dipped. And then we did some repairs on it. It needed a patch in the bottom. It's been quickly skimmed over, just leaving a recess for the body shop guys, but a nice plate winning. Did go in there. You can take it from me. The cutout for the puddle lights is in. Twin puddle lights on these doors because they're longer. And we've got another surprise lined up for the door as well. We've gone in all the seams to get all the residue out so that the door's ready to take its paint on the inside at least. The Technogrip gets inside with the gun now. We get it down into those seams. It's very important to get in to these seams and get right in there. So we've scrubbed out, there's been a toothbrush in there, a brush, all sorts of stuff and cleaning materials gone in to clean and prep the door up ready for its final works. When it was dipped, they've damaged the braze finish, which lines just here. So we're going to have to go over this now with the braze. You can see how the dipping process has damaged the braze finish, look. So that needs addressing now, because one of the last sort of jobs which makes a mess on the door. After them braze points have gone back in, we can then put it on the trestle, blast in some Technogrip in silver into these seams, then put the tar pads on, because this is going to need the tar pads, the sound deadening pads, to stop drumming of the panel. They're very noisy, so these will need 2 big pads to get that door done. We need to heat the door up so that the pads get a good adhesion, so we'll have to get the heat on the go and get the panel warm, and then fit the tar pads. Then the body shop will overspray the pads. I'll put the silver on first, so that the pad isn't going onto bare metal in case it rusts from behind the back of the pad. We better get paint in this. Braze first, then paint. So I'm going to get the brazier porta pack set up. Porta pack's just over here, simply an oxyacetylene setup which you've seen us using on all previous episodes of the film, indeed, for areas like that there. So I want that brazing job out of the way as we power ourselves through episode 30. Episode 30 is the episode where we wave goodbye to the shell and send it off on its merry way to the body shop. Body shop's been round yesterday. Juju Juru is the man, that's why you'll see these JJs for Juju. Works for Juju, where we've just brought this little bit out. I can't remember if we covered that, but just to get a gap, we just bring this scuttle edge out and then fill back in where it's slightly raised out. It gives a better fit to the wing. Just alter the profile of that scuttle end. With them being pattern panels, they don't always follow the profile. It's a bad fit on a lot of cars anyway around there, and so if you can improve that fit, you're always going to do a slightly better job. It just helps when you put the wing on that you get a bit more even gaps. Where it joins the wing, that curve, that's also had some reshaping, and I'm just going to get it exactly parallel with the reshaping of this edge. These are finer details now. There's a little bit of rod just there, you can probably see at the end of my fingers, which just helps. This was sort of dented in a little bit. Some fine details on for gapping needed sometimes. There's no way round it, where you've got to work your gaps. You'd be doing really well to just bolt everything on and expect what could be pattern wings to fit with even gaps, especially around the scuttle area. It's always a tricky one. If you look at a lot of Mk3s, indeed all 3 of mine, all have varying gaps here. Some are 5mm, some are 2mm, some are too tight, some are too wide. So I've gone for something in between, because you may as well, while you're at it, do that little tiny detailing job we've done everywhere else. It'd be crazy not to. Same applied on the other side of the scuttle as well, just to get it right. Also, that wing, the first wing that we fitted was way out. There was a big gap out, and we found that to be a pretty poor pressing wing. I've kept it because it'd be handy to have. That's not it, this is the other wing. I've kept that other wing because we could always rebuild that wing out. So it was a good rust-free wing that we had. It's just that it wasn't perhaps as good a fit as this one is. This one's a lot better. That's how we managed to get some really good measurements on the overall length of the car, by the way. Right, I'm going to get the brazier out and get this brazed up. Okay, there's them braze points in, and now I'm just finalising the cleaning and the preparation of this door, getting it ultra clean, getting in, blasting out the remains of any rust killer and rust treatment that we've blasted into these seams here, which is what you've got to do with these doors. They always rot in these corners. So I've gone in, it's a good door. There's a cut out there for the puddle light, we fitted that. The entry grommet hole for the puddle light connector, and any other connectors you might need in the door are there. So any connectors you would need in your door, and again making sure that they're clean right away. So just prepping the door really, we're nearly ready now to put the paint on it. That's all, whoops, that's all treated and ready to receive the super duper Technogrip in silver, then the tar pads on top, and then we're done. We'll get some warmth on it next, helps with the tar pad sticking on. So I've really finished most of the stuff on this. There is a repair patch in it, the front there, but the brazes are in all corners. And you can see, we take it inside, you can see that we're clean right the way into those troublesome cavities. Just got to dry the last of that residue out. That's the finishing, the Clorox just finishing off, fully degreasing it. And then we're hoping the paint's going to manage to get inside there. Of course we'll wax oil it as well. Okay. Radio down, a little bit of a tea break for me. Oh, you can hear us over there, you're just on the front of Bramble there. So the Technogrip's gone on and the panel's now warmed. It's been an hour. Technogrip cures, dries pretty quick. I'll bring into your screen view now the sound pad, sound deadening pad. They have a protective film over the top which you just peel off. You can leave it on if you're not over painting them. A bit tricky to peel off, but then on the back, self-adhesive. Remove the heat gun, so we can take this backing film off. These will help stop the drumming in the doors. It's essential to fit them. Now, can I thread this through? Just thinking the size is probably just about the right size, but we've got to get it. We might be better in two sections because I don't think I can make it through. Might be able to, when I catch on the way in, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Let's try. I mean, we really could just make it into two pieces, but it looks like we're in. I want to get two big pieces in. So from there, as long as you get them to cover the central area, it just really puts waste to any drumming sounds. You don't have to cover the entire panel, just a good surface area. So that's gone on good. That's in. We need to get the second one prepped now. Two going in then, a little bit more than what Ford did, but that's the way we're going. These will go on nicely. So the Technogrip paint's got into those drill holes, those trim holes that we drilled earlier on in part 28, and now we're just finishing the door. The body shop will be painting these, so there's no need for us to put any more paint on this now really. Just get that second one in. Yeah, so I'll just prepare the second one. Needs the excuse me, got the coffee gear going the wrong way. Just needs the film peeling off it and then sliding. Might have to just take a little bit off around the door recess handle of the door there. It's going to get in the way, so we might have to get some scissors and just cut round that. What I'll do, I'll line the pad up first and see where we've got to cut it. I'll show you what I mean. Yeah, so just round that area. We're in there, as you can see. Up you go. So there's our door. It's starting to look really nice, clean. The sound pad's in, and these give the doors a solid feel as well, especially if you put extra stuff in. They're nice and give you a nice heavy door. Okay, that's that door handle marked out. Cut that out, dead easy to cut. That's all we've got to do. Like that, and then peel off the protective layer. I'll show you what I mean. It's actually the hardest job is peeling off the protective layer. It's quite stuck on. It does go. You just got to take your time. It comes off mainly in one piece, like this. Let's get that off now. Okay, backing film off. Oh no, it's done the job for me. Wow, that is sticky. Well, that one's separated, no problem. It'll be alright on the night. Catch of the door handle just in the way, it's okay doing that. Okay, two tire pads nicely in. They don't have to match exact. Ford just threw them in. If you have a look at your door, you'll see they're sort of never straight or anything, just placed in to create that anti-drumming effect. And I'm being careful, by the way, not to push on the door skin, because we are on the door skin. I'm watching the door skin. I am aware that it's the door's placed on it. I'm being careful. That's it. Without putting too much force, I'll just go over it with this again, the heat gun. And then that's it, we're done. Okay, stuck the gun down into the panel creases so that it basically dribbles back. So we just put it on full power and just let it dribble down in. You can see the runs there, that's what I wanted it to do. Just into that seam. Then just rotated the door so it all runs in a sort of continuous circuit round into that vulnerable panel gap. Especially with it being dipped, there's nothing in there, it's totally naked of paint, so the other side won't be as bad. If you look at this door, that's in Ford Primer Brown because it was new on the car, although we all suspect that it's a rejected panel. Well, I don't know. It's got different shapes to it as well on that, so I think it'll all work though. There's a circular hole there, if you look, that's just by the locking pin of the door. If you look here, there is no circular hole, I'm hoping that ain't going to be a problem. I don't think it will. There isn't anything that fits there, I don't think. Anyway, this has got Ford's paint on it already, so it isn't as critical about getting into those seams, but we will seam paint into the seams anyway. But this side's got paint on it. This side door is probably in better condition than this one was. They're both off the Portuguese shell that had the crash, so I think both doors were replaced. Definitely this was a new panel. This one may have survived the impact, I don't know. And then this had its share of rot, and it just needed a spruce up. After the dipping, as I've mentioned on this section of the film, we needed to rebraze those joins. On this side it doesn't look like the braze has been disturbed, but I did notice that pillar was wobbling loose at the top, so this will be rebrazed anyway, this door, when we start heading that side. There's actually a little bit more work than what I thought getting this shell ready to go away. In terms of panel gapping, I was much more work than I expected. Not that anything didn't work out, it's just planning it took ages, especially doing those trim fittings and then just making this door presentable. Really took a little bit more work, but it pays off when you get it looking right. Okay, so that is it. The reason there's an 8 on there, it's the 8th large sound pad I've used on these side panels, just so I know how many have gone in. I was just going to calculate the actual weight times by 8, just as an interesting little side experiment, because you've got 2 in that side, 2 in that side, and 2 in each door. Made it 8 sound pads altogether, in the vertical panels anyway. There might be fitting some in the boot, which will take it to 10. So yeah, I think I'm gonna let that dry, that door, and then I'm gonna move to the wing now. Wing needs again Foss Cleaning B on the inside, then some paint on the seams, and then Gravitex. The wing doesn't have sound deadening pads. Okay, so wing is next. Wing onto the trestles next. We'll put this door away to one side and we'll start cleaning the inside of the wing now. I've decided it'd be better to refit the door, so I'm refitting the door. So hinges on. The little Nuke came up with this great little tip, which I think he borrowed from PH's Corsair Resto. Drill your hinge brackets when they're properly set up on the car. When you're taking it all apart for paint and stuff, and you come to reassemble, just place the drill bit that you used in there and then lock the bolt down, or get yourself some dowels and knock the dowels in, and then once you're locked down, making sure you keep it in when you tighten the bolt, your hinge is in exactly the same place when it came off. That is a great, I never thought of that one. That is a good one, so thanks Jim for that. Great idea. Little tip from the top, use some dowels if you don't want to use the drill bit that you used to drill it out off at the other hinge. Great idea, thank you Jim. It's time for extreme chassis black. Have a look, because the axle has arrived. It's out on the trestles because it's a lovely day. Work outside, why not? The chassis black goes on very nicely. About 4 or 5 coats I think I'm going for. I'm just going till I use the tin up, not the tin, what I put in the paint gun. Just 5 minutes to flash over between the coats and build them up. On the trestles we can rotate round. It's just balanced at the moment there, but I can spin and just get in everywhere I want. It was already primed with their frost primer as well, so that helped. And there we have the axle. It's quite pitted, but there's nothing we can do about that. I ain't going to be filling I'm not going to be filling that. So, one axle. Over here is one wing with Gravitex going on now, all prepped up inside and gravied up. We'll get a coat of silver on that, and then that wing's done, which then, if we go back inside, done the holes for the underriders, done the wing alignment, this door's back on. There's the rubber boot properly clipped in for the wires going in for the puddle lamps and anything else, if it's got any other goodies in there. So those doors are settled in nicely. We did those pads, didn't we? Once this wing is on, I'll then work on the other side. The bonnet needs to go away for soda blast. There's no way we're taking that off. It's going to be a soda blast job for the bonnet and the boot. So just 2 items, 2 for you to go away. Other than that, we're nearly done to roll out. So my mistake, I've underestimated the amount of time required for gapping and final prep. Luckily, body shop guy's got a holiday. He's come up on a holiday and he said you may as well wait. So that takes us here. So that's body shop date there. We've got other stuff there, which is nice. But which is nicer? That's a good question. Got to pan back. No, oh, the face thing's picked up what's left of her face after the Cosmo surgery. Didn't know it had a rubber detector, silicone detector on the camera. Okay, there we go. A nice day to do it. A September day. Little Indian summer day. Just waiting for the flash coat on the axle before I finish off the remainder of the paint in our gun here. So a nice day to paint the axle. Okay, wire wheeling off. This is what we used. But you've got to make sure, again, we're always going on about safety, aren't we? Got to make sure that you have your eye protection on for those, because loads of little needles come out and stick in your skin. Right, so we use that to get that red paint off, revealing the new old stock door with the Ford brown primer underneath, and then some etch primer on just so the body wop mop for the body wop shop bop Chewbacca. So the body shop has got non-flashing over metal. A couple of pinholes round here, very easily filled in with a MIG. Then air blowing in our FE123 rust converter. Again, get your eyes peeled, car restorers out there for this. You'll not go blind with this one. FE123, okay, molecular rust converter. We've featured it before, we feature it again because it's the best. In it goes, or it's up there with the best. Other products are available. Put these masking strips on because I had the door vertically, didn't want it pouring out. Then the air nozzle, have one of these if you ain't got one. Get yourself one of these in your weaponry, and you can just blast in. Make sure that the very vulnerable area of the lower door skin on all Mark 3 Cortinas, 2-door and 4-door, and indeed Mark 4s and 5s all suffer the same, especially in this corner. So you want to work it into that corner, and down this end you want to work it into that corner. Let that cure, react, activate, however it works, for a good couple of hours. Blow it again, and then you're ready to put some paint on. It's over paintable, and it'll just stop any rust that was beginning to creep in its tracks. Gone over a couple of the welds that were weak on the door frame. The body shop need to just do a little bit of fine detail on that. This is ready for its sound pads, same as we did with that door. So really I can get some etch primer on here, and a good idea would be to tilt the door up so the etch primer starts to creep under that seam, and the same we've done on this side. So really what we've been doing in the last couple of hours is getting this door prepped and cleaned back to best finish we can get. There's a dent there that wants filling. I'll let them do that. I think that's the majority of it done. Really, I can get to work on the sound pads now, really, while that 1, 2, 3 is curing. Sound pads, we've got Ford's primer on there, so no problem, we don't need to put any paint on. It's just the sound deadening pads straight in now, get them out of the way. Put them on now when the door's lying down, and before anyone says anything, it's not denting the skin there. We're alright, but you've just got to be careful. We're lying on the skin of the door. It's not really the best way, but I'm sort of being careful and wary of this. So far I think we're okay, and I'll be really careful. There, sand pads on, and then a bit more priming to do on it, and then it can go back on the car. We've marked the hinge pillar hinges, door pillar hinges there, and I didn't mark them there, but I know where it goes. The bottom one doesn't seem as critical as the top. Why didn't I mark that one? Because I found my other brand new hinge and wanted to use that. There it is down there. There's the old one. That had been shot blasted ready. It was a new old stock hinge. I thought, I want to fit that on the car. However, I couldn't put the dowel in for that reason. I'm swapping it out. So we're going to have to just rock the door into place when we come to refit it. We don't anticipate any big problem with that. Let's get on then, heat gun the remaining sound pads we've got there. That'll be a total of 10 pads fitted then, I think. We'll get them in. You've seen me fit them recently on this episode, so there's no need to refilm it. Peel off the backing tape, get the pads in, off we go, and then we'll over prime then with we're using Techno Grip paint inside the door, get the gun and blast it into these crevices, going this way, bang. I'll also get the body shop to put their air gun in when they do the final silver or stardust silver finish over the doors themselves, and they'll do a little bit of tidying up just around these bits. You can see some little markings where I've infilled the pinholes with the MIG, then just croqueted it back. Wants a little touch up there. Nothing major, at least we're giving them something which is not an insult, and it's something that's had some reasonable prep work already done on it. No hard sanding for the guys to do. I've done all the hard work for them there. To be fair, it looks a bad job. Let's have another look at this. It looks a bad job when you're doing it, when you're running that on a painted frame, and you think, well, is it really going to get in to all the places, or should I be better off going the soda blasters? Well, that wheel, that got in everywhere I wanted. And if you wear a mask, the best one I found for the masks, and this is a good all-rounder, it's good something to keep, and it'll last you a lifetime. 3M mask here, okay. Now this is a 6898, can you see that? Fully stripped down and cleanable. That's been in the sink with some detergent on it, and I've cleaned it all so you can get it back to brand new. Really good air seal on it. Those cartridges just unclip by rotating them. You can get to all the internals and clean all the diaphragms and get them back. And then if you wear that, okay, when you're doing the wire wheel, these little things won't get in your face. If you just have goggles and a paper mask, your cheeks can get hit with those parts, with those little spikes, needles flying off the high RPM. So what I found is they just bounce straight off this mask. That at least saves you sensitive areas of your face. You still get a few in your body. This t-shirt took, you find little ones stuck in you, but you could wear another jacket if you was concerned about that. Mainly it's your face that you want to go for. Although I have had one under my skin of my hand, which which I managed to pick out, and there's still one in there actually, showed up on an x-ray. So that's not the best, but at least with this you've got a chance. You can use that. It's very clear to see through, good vision on it, and it doesn't fog up either, and also it's great for painting. So a good all-rounding mask to use, and great that it's got a mask air filter system when you're doing this, taking off this paint, because you're making old nasty paint airborne and you don't know what's in there. It's just not worth it. So I would suggest to you, my recommendation, and I'll be happy if I see evidence of this on your restoration films. Maybe not Tony's, but anyone who wants to get one of these masks, okay, get one. I think they're good. It's going to save you. You'll thank me for it when you're not coughing up dust. Okay, right, let's get back to these sound pads. Right, now inside here, it's very nice and hot. What I did was, while I was peeling off that troublesome film off the tar pad, I just had the heat gun in there like that, and the tar pad was placed over the door here, and as I was peeling off the protective film, heat was coming up through there, preheating the tar pad, heating the door skin, not too much of course, we don't want to warp the door skin, and when you put them in, warm, 100 times easier than when they're cold. If you're doing this, redoing your doors, put them in warm. It's a totally different experience than cold, brittle tar pads, and they just mould instantly to shape, and they do grip better because it slightly tackifies the face of it, giving it a head start. Of course, later down the line when your car's out and about, the sun will strike your door panel and give it further assistance, but at that point it's going to be vertical, and if it hasn't quite grabbed it, it'll try and peel away. In fact, you may well have seen that on cars even from the factory that have done that, where the tar pad slid down or folded back. This way you've got a fighting chance. Nice firm adhesion there, look, it's going. I can get it if I want, but it starts to break apart. Never had any problem with them on all 3 cars that I've done. One more to go then. It's still warm there, but I'll give it a little bit more heat. We'll prepare the tar pad over there. There's the last one in the box. Anyone asking about tar pads, where'd you get them from, what they're all about? Okay, sound deadening pads, there we go. 500 by 500 by 2mm thick, call them SD pad 4, sound deadening pad pack of 4. Motor factors, local motor factor shop, body repair supply shop, anywhere where you get your thinners, your paints from. They're going to have those in stock. I use the honeycomb ones, probably because it's a sound deadening idea. Honeycomb's well known. Honeycomb is well known in acoustic environments to have good acoustic deadening properties. Okay, so that's all we've got to do with that is fit the other pad now, which I've just put over there. Go and grab it. Here we go. Last one going in. I'm still trying to get the rest of the sticky off. Here we go. Off with the backing pad. Sticky. I'm backing my box and screw. There we go. Who remembers them wallpaper sample books from the 70s? We used them for backing our books. Oh, this really has grabbed, and it's not gone in straight. And I can see why Ford just threw these in, because once they grab, whoa, that really has grabbed, because that's because of the heat, you see. Totally different than when it goes on lukewarm or stone cold. Stone cold Steve Austin, come on. Right, just trying to get it reasonably parallel, and of course I've got a little cutout to do as we go in. I should have really cut that out first, but I didn't. Right, we shall now have to modify and just cut round the door handle. We'll do that now. Put another pad in, with the exception of cutting around the door handle, which I totally forgot to do. Did it on the other door? Okay, let's go down. Okay, just pop this outside. It's another nice day. Silver's in, made sure it got down into the places where it counts. And we can let that dry now, leave it for out here for a bit, and then we'll bring it inside this evening. And we're done there on that door. Okay, all painted. And now on to the next stage. So just giving it a little check over and seeing how everything's gone in, which is great. The pads are in. They are pad number 10. So we'll jot that down. And now we've got a template here which we used off Ruby. It's for the puddle lamps. It's the cutout template. I've just measured decent positions for the puddle lights. There's two on this. It's a 2-door. It's a longer door, and you'll see why later in the build why we've got 2 puddle lights. But if you were to open your door here, light there, and also up here, light. So we want a nice light bar. And one of the other reasons that I've done too is, here's the real reason. I measured this end thinking that was that end, and ended up cutting the hole in the wrong place, and I thought, wow, that was on this door, by the way. I thought, well, I had contemplated 2 lamps anyway, and I thought, well, that's made my mind up. Here they are, just grabbing in. So, the Granada Mk3 ones, and I clip in that way, and the angle, the bulb hold, if you look, is slightly pointed to shine the light away from the door. So if I was down that way, this way, it's pointing outwards, so your light beam sort of, let's stand by the door and have a look, sort of going over there rather than backwards. I would have thought that is the way they designed it to go, although I must admit I did not check on the Mk3 Granada that we took them off which way indeed they were pointing. I wouldn't have thought they'd point backwards, but they could do, because if you open the door and the light's here, the door's right over there, would you not want it pointing back at your feet? So I'm not sure. I don't really know. Either way, if it is where they got to point back at your feet, it's too late, because these ones are in. The holes are in. There you go. So I'll have to accept that I've made a mistake if that's the case. However, I would imagine there's quite a bit of lamp spread anyway, but it would be an annoying OCD thing for me that it isn't facing the right way. And the more I think about it, the more I would say you face backwards into yourself. So opening the door, then coming back. So I think I've messed it up. I don't really think I can do anything about it. I don't really want to go in there and alter those templates, really. So that's going to be quite annoying. If it makes a lot of difference, that is, you may find that they've angled it because the bulb that couldn't fit in the door or something. It might not be that, because it hasn't really got a reflector in it. I'm talking myself out of it, aren't I now? It's not like a parabolic reflector as such, so maybe it doesn't really matter. And that Fresnel lens may not be directional. It could just be that was done to keep away from something in the car, the bulb itself. So it's possible. We'll have to see. I think it will make a lot of difference. Okay, puddle light cutouts, there we go. And then we now move on to the grommet. The same on this. I'll open this door, show you the grommet. I think we have covered this. Grommet coming up. Oh no, it's not that side, that's with the wing off. Wing's now back on. Here, this side for the grommet. It's shaped with a circular hole and then a little nib in it which the plastic engages into. You can't see it this side, but it actually locks in, clips in very nicely and snugly. It's a special design. This side, for some reason, doesn't have the same clip. It just pushes in to the grommet hole. So that wire, that grommet there, would feed the cables through for our lamps cutouts there. So we can imagine it a bit better actually now if we open the door here. So there's your lovely light, and I suppose if we think about it, you do want it all shining there, but is it going to make that much difference? I wouldn't have thought so. It's going to spread anyway. Okay. Yeah, it's going to bug me. It's going to bug me that my mind is such that things like that really do. Because if you're going to do it, you know, you may as well do it right. And I had the chance to do that, didn't I? Oh dear. It will annoy me, but I'm going to have to accept it, aren't I? What else can I do? So 10 pads went in, and they went in on 9.19. That gets sprayed over, by the way. Okay, here is our wing prepped and painted. These were de-rusted wings anyway, but I've gone back over them with a Phosclean B back to bare metal. And then obviously we discussed drilling the trim holes so they get the paint in. You'll notice there's runs in the paint there. It's because I've had the wing absolutely levered with a Technogrip. Let it fill up the nose cone section, the vulnerable nose cone section, and it's been spun round so that the paint started to creep into this lip when the wing was rotated. And because I held the gun in to get plenty of paint and actually blasted the paint in, it causes it to puddle and then it'll run, which doesn't really matter, and I knew that would happen because the stipple effect of the Gravitex goes over that and it becomes invisible. Normally I'd try and do it where you didn't get any runs, but it's just not worth it. Well, what we're trying to do is just get plenty of paint in there so it goes in under all the seams, because then these are just designed to rot these wings. If you're ever doing a Mark III, just make sure you get good paint. Clean metal first, then good paint into this lip. It'll extend the life of your wings. So bear that in mind, try and get the gun in, or do what I've done, load it with paint, then slowly rotate it round every half an hour and let it run backwards and forwards. And don't worry about these if you're Gravitex, and if you're just going for a bare metal and not a painted finish with no stone guard, then these would be an issue, of course, but most people wouldn't be doing that. I can bet you any money you'll never see those. Once that gravity goes on, they're gone. So it's pointless me starting to flat those down. Could do it, you get some grit paper on there, sandpaper on there, and they're gone, you know, but there's just no advantage with that. Where runs would count would be areas like the door and stuff like that, so we're a bit more careful there. Okay, and it was 10 pads. If anyone's wondering how I got to 10 sound pads and why I was writing down 10 sound pads, it was so that I worked out how many boxes the car took in pads, because I was going to calculate the extra weight of sound deadening pads. That's the reason. You might think, what the hell are you doing making notes, and why write it in the door? It's just so I remind myself when the gun goes over, it's gone anyway. Okay, so you might find that a little bit odd, but I'm obsessed with numbers, and I really wanted to know how much extra that would make, because probably without those extra pads, with the carpet trim, glass and stuff, this not really going over its standard weight. I'm not modifying it in terms of extra weight, because electronic mods won't really count in as much weight. So it's like that sound deadening material is pretty heavy. So there's the reason that, and I've got another set of numbers there for the side panels, that number, and another set of numbers for the floor ones as well, because obviously Ford had them in the floor, so I'm only going to write down, I'm going to work out the exact amount that went in the floor, then deduct how many Ford had, to see what my net gain in weight was. It's mad, I know, but it keeps me out of trouble. What kind of day is it today? It's a Gravitex day. I just love the smell of Gravitex in the morning. Okay, a prepared wing in the sunshine, dribbles and all. This ain't gonna be rotten. I got myself Techno grip in every corner, every nook, and everywhere. So it's time to finish the last Gravitex job, and then that's all our Gravitex operations complete, and the wings on. Harsh sunlight outside, lucky late September sunshine, or mid-September sunshine. In some ways better than August's sunshine. Okay, over to the compressor. There's the axle, and our door back on with the grommet for the puddle lamps and possibly anything else electronic that needed to be installed in the door in the future. Our hinge dowel pins, here they are, just cut up welding rod for the hinge pins. The dowels went in, slightly moved probably, no such word. It is there, they were in, believe me. It's just slightly moved, but it's almost in line. I can always trim that. However, the door goes back on because of them pins. It helps a lot with getting your door back in position. So that bolted back on, and you saw me prepping it up, of course, and now there's a puddle lamp there fitted, just clips in. Of course, we really should have painted it after the holes like we did on that side, so I will go over the panel, although having said that, painting inside the door again anyway, so, but I will give them a paint over the cutouts for the puddle lamps there. We're going to take this afternoon the bonnet to the soda blasters, and we're going to make sure that we re-seal this rib that's come loose there on the bonnet. See that rib? It's just held in with a bonding agent, panel bond stuff. We're going to have to pick the right one. Tiger Seal's good. A lot of people say, you know, go Tiger Seal, but I've known it to fail on certain panels. It may be good on bare metal. I've known it on painted surfaces to actually come off, so I'm just going to check. I have got some other panel adhesive that we used for the roof. We could look into using that, but I'd rather just inject it in, so I'll check my body shop and just see what's a good grab. They'll probably say Tiger Seal though. It is over paintable, we'll just have to see how it goes. Then bonnet ribs. Boot to come off, that's why I'm at the back here. I knew there was a reason why I'd walk around the back of the car. That's to come off because Taffy at DW Soda Blasting, he's going to blast the inside of that. This top piece, the body shop want to just take the paint off. They've got the machine to just take the paint off. There's no need exposing that, but we don't want to be struggling with the ribs of the boot lid, taking ages to get around these ribs with their machine, although I could do that with my wire brush if I wanted, but I'm just going to get our resident Welshman to soda blast the bonnet, and then that's the last panel. Then we'll just prime that and we're ready to rock. So it's time to fire the compressor up and get on with that wing. As previously discussed, gravity goes on with your standard Schutz gun. There's the nozzle, nothing special, just your common garden Schutz gun puts it on a treat. So let's hook up, let's have some fun. It's very relaxing putting on Gravitex. Yeah. There's a flash, a nuclear flash in the sky. Oh, right, join us as we leave the workshop. We do a bit of a hub nut, and in here we load up into the trusty Mondeo, and we go now and see Taffy's wonderful world of curiosities. Taffy is a shot blaster, and he's going to blast these parts very carefully. Come on, let's go down and see Taffy's wonderful world of curiosities. Right, we're in. Taft's going to very lightly, go on the rib because it's nice and strong there, but we don't want to put too much power on these panels because he reckons the heat might warp it. Even though it's glass bead stuff, we've got to be careful. So just going to take it easy, but get the worst of this. It's mainly this run there. Just hoping this boot deck lid survives. Should do. It's in Taffy's capable hands in the nuclear wasteland. Same on that. Taffy's going to hit it now. Our man from Wales. There's not much life left in him now. He's been smashed up in a car crash. Okay, we're back from the soda blasters and now place the panels over here for inspection and work, and the bonnet back on. Bonnet needing no work. Clipped in place and on its bonnet catch, ready for final alignment. Little adjustment to do in that corner to bring it back flush with the wings on and screwed in. So all these little fine details. I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll open the garage door so you can get some light on the front end. There we go. Let's have a look at our front end now before we send this off. It's getting close. So we're going to look at this front wing, and it's fixed in with these screws and nice tabs there and along the top, and it's bolted to the lower valance here, so we're getting a decent line there. Wants a little bit of a knockabout, not much, just to get this a little bit better down that line. That has a seam seal in there, by the way, later on. So we're happy how this fits, and the wing goes in there and we go up and fit there. Look at this wing edge to bonnet here, how this has got a sort of a V front shape to it and not a flat bonnet edge. This is something that Mikey pointed out as well in the swampy days. He was obsessed with getting this right, and I can see why. It's a very good point, because this shape of this wing, it could be another pattern wing, I don't know. I've seen so many different shapes here. This really wants cutting and knocking flat so that it matches this leading edge profile and then blends in nicely, because that lets it down, if you see. Now I don't want to bash it because then it'll ripple upwards, so I'm gonna cut it and let it fold in on itself a little bit. It might need building up. The other idea I had was to cut a little piece of metal the same shape profile as this, cut that, knock it in, and place the metal on top to give a new face front, then weld it, then nicely crock it in and blend it out. We want to do that on both sides when we're happy with the alignment. Let's have a look at the wing on this side, see if it's the same. Yes, it is. Loses it a little bit. See, it's not quite, this one's a bit better, but again, not really nicely finished in that corner to do it justice. So that's something which Mike pointed out to me in the early days. I'd like to get that right. I'd have never spotted that. A nice gap down there, look, but you can see that the bonnet's raised here on the scuttle. I'm going to have to get that on the hinge. I'm out of adjustment on the hinge, so I'm going to enlarge the hinge bracket to drop it down, although I'm sure when I took this off that wasn't raised, so it may be that I've not set everything up right. Bonnet's clipped down. I've put the catch on, which you can just, you have to get your finger in and release the catch. Here's the catch. I think you pull it towards you like that. Up we go. Oh, car's running away with me. Catch on. That's not the right screw. And then a little bit of adjustment. So there's the ribs. He didn't blast the face of it because he didn't want to risk warping it. So just the ribs, which is all we needed. Nothing to do to the bonnet. The actual rib had broken away here. I've spot welded it back on. I'm also going to put some bonding agent underneath it, but it's a weak point that on them. This rib can wobble a little bit, so we've just reinforced it. Down there we're okay. We can actually lock the bonnet down now. Listen to that. So we need to adjust that a little bit, see where that wing's dents out. I want to do these jobs because they don't have the welder down there. We're okay here. A little bit raised there and a little bit of a dent there, but I don't think that's down to my skills now. In other words, I don't think there's anything for me to weld. Running my hand on, that's good. Bolted on, coach lines are good. Now remember, we just done that before the bomb dropped. And underneath we go. These, as I remember saying to you, I'll take the paint off those, don't worry about them. I've not missed that. My welder helmet's on, you can see how it fits. So you just need to bring this in a little bit, but that'll sit on a bed of sealant anyway, that mounting edge of the wing. So we're nicely fitted there, a lovely fit there. So really good, and that's the coach line following down. Happy with that, bar that adjustment. Other side's just as good. Let's go and have a look. Are we moving on yet? Hold on, I've got to cover these up, otherwise we get reported for, crazily enough, you can't even show. Yeah, I could have a man on there and that's not a problem. Hang on, who we got for November, December? More plastic. I like the real deal. Let's go and have a look at the real deal. This is for historic purposes only, no innuendo or nudity references or anything, so don't try and, the haters out there trying to report me. Nothing wrong with showing that, that's not being sexist or anything like that. Relax with Semperit tyres, calendar 1980. I'll just show bits, I can't show everything. Nice bit of lingerie. That's the best I can do for you guys. Sorry, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Pathetic. Right, oh yeah, now then. Oh, I could just rub that all day. Curves on that. Ooh, suit you, sir. Suit you, sir. And you can see there's our raised bit. Not going to go, it needs some adjustment. Easily done, don't worry about that. Gap here, good. Door fitting nicely. You've got to give them a bit of a slam when you have those new seals. And guess what? Guess who sprayed primer on his lovely new seal? I'll have to get that off. You've got to give them a bit of an aggressive slam at first while the rubber's bed in, but don't worry, it gets easier and easier. Take it from me, I've done it on 3 cars now. Okay, all that good. How are we looking down there now? We've rebolted the door back on. Nice. All doable. Yes. Yes. Little touch of a kick out here, but good with the sill, so build this a little bit up there just to get that nicer, but I can't rub it enough. And I'm sure that if you were here, if you could put your hands through your screens now, you'd come and help me rub this down. Alright, let's go to the back, let's go to the main event, and why I've got the welding mask on, because we've blasted this and it's in good order all around the top until you get to the lower lip. What I've started doing is just migging up the pinholes, quite a lot of pinholes in it. Here's one, look, there's another one, 1, 2, 3, if that is indeed one, that might not be one there, one there, a little bit of compromise there, that'll get metal filler on it, there's nothing to actually do. A little bit of a rebuild to do on that tab. Hold on, this will make it easy for me, hang on, nothing more annoying when you got background noise. I do try and keep the background noise down. So we're doing the pinholes on the boot, guys and girls out in YouTube and Patreon land. I'd like to rebuild that tab there and get that nice. So I'll put some weld in it, then we'll reshape that little tab. Pinhole, look. Pinhole. There. Not bad there. So all together, a good boot that we've saved off a scrap car. So that scrap car, I don't know where it was from. A long time ago, this boot's been in storage. I'm glad that we've not had to go on and waste money buying a boot when you can fix this one. And you put in more back and save a new boot for someone who really needs it. Because this was doable. Okay, so how are we doing it? How are we going to do the pinholes? First thing to do, get yourself comfortable. So I'm doing it at working height, sat down. It's just a little bit easier than stooping over it. When you're old like us lot, speak for yourselves everybody, and you start bending over the work, it starts to get you back. And it just helps if you're comfy. So you're comfy and you're well lit. Get yourself an LED floodlight. Better quality of light than halogen. Doesn't get hot, uses less power, and at 30 quid tops, maybe 24.99. You might even get one for 15 quid. It looks about no more than 20 quid's worth, doesn't it? That was from Machine Mart. I think this has been a great tool in the project build, everybody. Get it to any height you want. Alright, it's not mega robust, but it's fine. If you look after it, it'll be okay. It's got a lot of weld spatter on here. We could do with really taking the glass off and cleaning it back, because I have it so close to the work that the welder kicks back on it. So it would have been handy if they supplied at least one new glass with that. Anyway, put it up close, it still works good enough, and you can see we've already infilled some of the pinholes and they go in quite good. Now if you've never done pinholes, you might be doing welding on good clean metal, like on the boot or something like that, where there is no damage and there's no compromised metal, and you might think, oh, my welding skills are getting better, I'm now going to move to doing pinhole repairs. First thing is get yourself comfy, get your metal clean, forget trying to do it when there's any trace of paint in the area that you're going to do. You need good clean metal, and you can see where you're at. Better idea to get it blasted, then it'll bring out the pinholes. You might not see them otherwise. Or wire wheel to sand back your paint. Wire wheel to save you money. Good wire wheel though, and make sure you wear your goggles. As I've said again about the goggles with the wire wheel, they'll embed into your eyeball, so you cannot mess about with those. Wire wheel from Screwfix, do once. Make sure you get a good quality wire wheel. Don't get a Chinatown cheapo one. Get the knotted wire wheels. They're a lot better. And make sure your goggles and your ear defenders are on. So you'd do that, you'd clean your metal, or you'd blast it, soda blast it, then you'd be confronted with your pinholes like I am today. So I have my MIG set on the low setting. Now I'm not an expert on giving you the settings that I've got, but we could have a look at the front and just see the wire speed is down on 2 and my power settings on 1, the lowest it will go. I find that's, for me, is okay for doing the pinholes. So what happens with a pinhole, as soon as the welder hits it, it'll blow it into a bigger hole. But the trick is, to just pulse the welder. I'm going to get the welder with the other hand and bring it into your line of view. And you're really just letting it, it's going to blow back for a little while and you're going to think, I'm chasing this. But if you've cleaned the metal back, you should roughly know where it's going to end up. And it'll blow back. So I'm going this way. The wire's going to come out, it'll hit it, and it'll push it back. But that's, as soon as it does that, let go, and you'll see the edge of the hole glowing, and it'll create an edge to the edge of the hole that's glowing red. Hit it again, it might push back a little bit more, but eventually let it cool for just a few seconds, then you can start to come back on yourself, and as it pushes that way, it'll start to stack up. And once you're coming to the end of the hole this side, you'll find that if you give it a slightly longer run, it becomes like a pool, and it sort of settles in and finds the edges on its own of the remaining part of the pin. Okay, that's what happens. I'm just waiting for the camera to lock on. It's notorious with any handheld filming device. You see this a lot on YouTube, especially when I've even got my glasses on. Glasses just for reading normally, but I have varifocals. I'm just trying to see now. I can tell if it's focused. They're annoying, those videos on YouTube where I've done it myself, where they don't focus. Let's have a look at some we've done. See how the little pools are there. I hope that's focused. Kick my arse if it ain't. These pools, these were all little pinholes. As I say, the welder pushes back, it blows a hole bigger for a while, but just lay off the power and let it kick back a little bit and back, and then give it one blast, and then it'll create like a round circle of molten, depending on the shape of the hole. If it's an elongated hole, you won't get a round circle, you get more of a sort of a line. And eventually you'll learn the technique where you can fill in pinholes. In fact, we've spotted one there, look. So let's do that. If I put you on the tripod, I'll see if I can demo how we repair that pinhole with the MIG. See it? And then we use our lovely croc sander to get in. Croc sander's good because I can follow this little profile here. I've repaired that tab there, look, and I'm going to put the croc sander on the edge of the tab and just clean the tab up. And then again down this vulnerable rust trap there where we've repaired it. There's a longer pin there, see. That'll come up like new, I promise you it will. But I'd like you to see this, because we're going to, I mean, sometimes I don't include enough how-to stuff, so let's, instead of all the dramatics, let's just get some how-to stuff in as well. The mission will be to find the tripod. Luckily we've got a good steel base for the magnet on the tripod to sit, so we should be able to sit you in here while I just show you that getting fixed. And then if you've got panels at home, you think they're good but they've got little pinholes in, you can get it back to as good as new. Obviously you can't see this side. It'd be nice to get the sander in that side too. Really would like to. If I can, I will get in there, but I doubt I'm going to be able to make the inside edge as neat as the outside edge. That's a little bit annoying for someone like me. I'd like to get both bits done, but I just don't think we're going to be able to get in there. Sometimes you've got to accept things. We'll have a little look anyway and see, but sometimes you've just got to do the best that you can do and accept it. Yes, improve, yes, learn, but then know where you're happy finishing your standard. If not, you could get overwhelmed or overrun with time. We've discussed time quite a bit in the builds throughout, and what you want to get out of your life with your car. What's your actual purpose? Some build a car to be a museum piece, which is great because you could display it, trailer it, never use it, and spend extra time on it to get it concourse, and then have it as a demo, a great sculpture if you will. And I can see that. Others will build just to get it on the road, so it doesn't have to be concourse, it doesn't have to be all these tiny little details. You could even just body fill that. You might be happy that way. And some fillers you can get where it would last a long time. It'll last as long as you're going to have the car. Maybe that's fine, as long as it's not a botch. Others will have a level where they go when they're going to use the car. It's going to be part of the reason that they're building the car, is because they want to have a lifestyle with the car in terms of travel and style, and just using it as the daily car, or every weekend, or for holidays. It could be a holiday car. You might get in as much use of the car as you can, and it would be at a different level than concourse. And that's where I am really. I'm at the level where I've got a fixed amount of time to build it, obviously the budget to build it too, and then what I want from the vehicle. That's why I'm adding the modifications to it, because what I want with this vehicle is a cruising machine, which is why it's going to have the automatic Granada 4-speed A4LD box with the torque converter lockup and the cruise control that I'm going to install out of the Mark III Granada, using an original, not an original, but a reproduction cruise control stalk, which will look very, very in keeping with the car. That was done on Project Ruby. So I want it as a cruising machine. I want it to be rust proof, reliable, easy to clean down, and as close as original I can get without going that next concourse level, because that would take another year of work, where you'd stop here now and you had to start picking at this and saying, right, well, that's not right, that's not right. Example, these wouldn't be Flowflex bushes, they'd be Ford new old stock ones, which arguably wouldn't be any good because the rubber's 45 years old. But these are the things that you could go if you go in concourse. Trying to pick at it then, these rivets would be different. They'd be the Ford style rivets, not as good. Other little jobs like that where you'd start thinking, well, okay, that's how you get it absolutely concourse, down to every detail. I don't go that far because I'm going to be using the car, I'm going to be hammering this. I'm happy with what we've got. So there's all these different levels, and again, I'll take you back, I'll segue in, but take you back to what I mean in relation to doing the pinhole repairs. You could, for concourse, go at the back, clean all the backs of the welds now, get rid of that completely. Or if you're just going for budget and get it on the road quick, save another Cortina, it's all good, all in the same spirit. A good filler, you fill over the pins, no problem, you could fill over them pins, job done. So these are the different ways, and they're just my thoughts a little bit. We always have the Bramble Ramble, so that was the Bramble Ramble for this clip. People miss it if I don't do the Bramble Ramble. Sometimes it's not even about cars. I told you, I'd weld that pinhole, come on, let's get on and do it. Okay, you're rolling now. I've got good light, I'm sat on that little chair I showed you. Welding gloves going on. Trying to talk a little bit louder because your microphone's away on the camera. I'm going to go in, I might have to move the light a little bit. You'll see the light change. Just moving it to my right hand side. Now I've got a clear run in, camera's slightly in the way but might wobble a bit. We'll try and get in. So you can see I'm coming in there. Let's just see, watch out for the flash any minute. My glasses off. The welding mask I've got's got reading lens built in. Here we go. Switch it on, you idiot. Right, here we go. And that's it. Yeah, the last little pulse was a bit longer. Probably get better on, I could probably get better than that, raised up a little bit. Less to grind down the better, but it does take a little bit to sink into it, so a little bit of height's unavoidable. So that's it, we're going to go along and do all those now. I won't film all of those. It'll be a bit easier with the camera not being in the way, and I was wary of shaking the boot. I wanted to rest my hand a little bit on it. Also might wear my jacket. I've got a welding jacket, suede welding jacket, stops the splashes on your arms, because you're working in close here. I'm bare armed, I shouldn't be really, should be covered up. Incoming, better get the phone, see you in a sec. Okay, with the pinholes all completed, it's time to get Crocky out, and these cling spur belts I got from eBay, got these from eBay. They're worth every penny. 60 grit and 80 grits. Made in Germany, look. Cling spur, I think, make them. Check them out on eBay, the blue ones. So they're worth every penny. The ones from Screwfix, they're worth about a penny. So with Crocky, which I got from, it's a McAllister, and I got it from B&Q for 24 quid on offer. They're alright, but they can end up burning the bearings. I've lost two simply because of the end bearing, and I've not found anyone that supplies that replacement finger at the end. It does come off on screws. If you could get them, you'd probably get a lot more life out of them. They're good apart from that weak point at the end. But yeah, B&Q job for that. Over here we've already started to clean up, and you can see how good result we get. The pinhole's barely noticeable there. Some dolphin glaze will finish those off, and indeed the dolphin glaze will finish the very fine end of the cratering, but we're quite solid there anyway. Clean that edge of that lip. Again, I'll glaze that, just run it in. We'll run it in there and we'll clean that nicely. So we'll go along with the crock sander now and just get this back to tip top. We'll get it looking pretty good, that vulnerable boot edge. Of course it'll be wax over when it's done, and painted as well. Painted then wax over, of course. Onto the tripod for you, a little bit of crocking for you, and then we'll be done. Here we go for crock sand. Whoa! Crock sander was holding the deck. Here we go. So you can see how nice and rewarding that is. It is one of them jobs that gives you quite a good feeling of satisfaction, because you can see it come back to life again and become a nice solid boot edge. What was once a little bit pickled, we get ourselves a really good refurbished boot lid. I want to bore you with the details. I'll just tell you when it's done. Okay, we're nearly done. Just using the die grinder now to get in and profile these repaired tags. Here, see those? You can get in there and just shape these. I'm just working on this one now. We're nearly done. Down, under with a tip. In we go and scribe out and get the right shape. Another corner to do there. A little bit more weld to go in this corner. See, just that. See how we've got some crud in there. We need to work that. That one's done. So we're nearly finished, and I'm going to put a light skim over each one here, just a very fine skim over there, and then that's it. And I've put some primer on just to keep the rust off till it gets to body shop. So there you go, not too bad that. Yeah, we've nearly repaired our boot lid. Great stuff. Okay, little bit of skim and then some etch prime on completes that first fix of the boot lid. Second fix, the body shop will go over all these ribbed areas. Jobby's just magneting himself on again. They'll just give it the scotch pad. They'll go over that, see if there's anything I've missed. I doubt it, but it's hard to say. But I think we've got everything there. Reshape that little corner, reshape that little bit. That one just wants to see how I've missed a little bit of a filler in there, so I just want to get that straight line like I've done with these. See, that was rebuilt. That one just wants a little, but I'm getting closer, like I said, about that level that you go to. So I'll probably just do that line straighter and that one with a bit more of a ramp there, and then that's the tabs done. Didn't take that long, a couple of hours on that, welding it and then just getting it filled. Okay, so we've got ourselves the beginnings of a great boot lid. The last piece of the jigsaw really, because everything else we've covered. So we know the boot fits nicely, we can probably bolt it on now. Yeah, there's nothing to stop us bolting it on actually, that can go on. And then I'll get over and do this bonnet adjustment. If I have to elongate the holes in the bracket, then I'll do that, but I don't think I'll have to, because I'm sure when I took this off prior to shot blast we were okay. So need some investigation on that. Inside there's nothing to do. You've enjoyed us seeing us doing the doors, and they're now opening and closing, and as the days go on, let me undo this door for you. This one's still under a bit of tension, you could hear by the way that it opened there. But this is probably set back just a couple of mil too far back. These are adjustable, the striker plates, and if you have it too far back, and I think it is actually a bit too far back, it's trying to squash the rubber completely and it can't get that last bit. So if you are fitting your doors and you're having problems with your new seals, you can bring these back just a little bit until the seals bed in, then later on, a few months down the line, bring them in again. This probably won't close now, I wouldn't have thought. It might do. The other side's gone a lot easier, and that was the side we did a week before this one. No, it doesn't go, look, this is what I'm saying. That striker plate, oh, it's got it that time. Got it that time, but it's, I'm just looking, probably not much in it, probably just a case of letting this bed in, this seal. I've reminded myself to do the seam seal into the channel here. We want to be going down into this channel. Can you see up there? I think you can, see better than I can. Now that channel's filled with the Technigrip paint, it's crept underneath it, and anywhere where the roof bonding resin didn't get, you can see the bonding resin peeping out through these original plug holes. It sets like rock and it sticks like very sticky things stick, like my magnetic tripod keeps sticking. Oh, I've done it again! I've turned him upside down now. Yeah, so the seam sealer needs to go down that to finish off that gutter job. See if you can get you in. You can just about get in. Little tiny things now as we're getting closer and closer. I think episode 30 that you're in, and it is the episode where it gets on the back of Dave's truck and goes off to the paint. So we're looking forward to that. The date is on the calendar over there. First week of October instead of the first week of September. So a month behind. And it's a combination of the body shop having a last minute holiday and me being behind with this because there was more finer detailing work than I anticipated. And I suppose when you look at it, it makes sense because it is always the small jobs which take the longest. You can smash through a shell relatively little time. And when it comes down to getting it how you want it, you know, that's the $1 million question. This door bedded in a bit better on the new seals now, bedded in a bit better. So I could probably get it from here. Yes, now that is going good. That door is going, I'm very pleased with that. That's just almost normal closing door when the relatively new rubber situation, if that makes sense. It's, in other words, it's not ridiculous. It's give it a good hard pull from the inside on the briefcase handles because it's GXL. You get the briefcase handles pull, and there's that door from that side. Looking nice. I think we cleaned that door up good. We certainly cleaned this passenger door up good. There's the cigarette lighter aperture fascia bezel and the ashtray fascia hung on the dash because they go when it gets ruby dark paint on it. They're part of the ruby dark 2-pack paint process that the body shop do when they scotch pad down the dash. and paint it in ruby dark. Ruby light is the only colour used elsewhere, and that's on the seats. The rest of the trim is ruby dark. Ruby light is only on the actual seats themselves, which sort of lift themselves out of the car against the darker colours. We've got the carpets and they're great. Carpets are really fantastic. Looking at now, starting to get even more relaxed. I was reasonably relaxed anyway, but I'm starting to get even more relaxed. Just going to check we're okay for time. Got a bit of a schedule today. So we're closing in. Let me bolt on the boot lid, at least that's out of the way. See you in a sec. The whole fleet's looking good and Bramble's looking good. We are doing a couple of last minute jobs. Talked about getting that right. It's right. Got some captive plastic, what are they called? Sort of captive, not captive nuts, but they clip in for your reg plate so you don't get metal to metal on your screws. And then torquing the reg plates a little bit dark because our friend the laser's out. There's our laser goggles we should have been using. Get in the middle of the reg plate into the middle of the car. Okay, a little bit dark. Then getting the screw lines just in the right place. So that is our reg plate setup for the back. And again, these are the captive nuts, which we've got the back ones in over by the light. These 7.5mm, and they snap in. You use them to secure your reg plate down. But before we did that, we wanted that reg plate in the correct place. I know there was already holes. You might have noticed that it's already had the plate screwed on the back. But I've welded one of the holes up because it actually wasn't to my liking. It was 2mm out, so welder was just there. One of the holes I welded up left hand side, slightly readjusted it, and now I'm happy. The middle of the reg plate is the middle of the boot catch, and then the nearest best place to get your screws so that they're even was between the 7 and the 8 on this reg and the O and the T on that side. And couldn't really put them right at the outer edges because it wouldn't quite land correct on that setup of reg plate. Okay, I'll show you these captive nuts now. Well, there'll be a name for them, but I don't know what it is. Okay, lights on so we can see again. And that's how we've set it up. So these are in on this end, on the back. There's the drill which I used, pilot first. So I'm happy with those locations. We saved that reg plate, of course, and then we use that when we get our new plates made up. We just line that over on top, making a note which holes that we used. These original dealer plates from Bramble, Pontings Ford of Andover. Checked it and it's an original Ford dealer, real deal. I've got a little Ford dealer book which is in the glove box of Swampy, and that gives me all the UK dealers at the time, giving me the address and phone number in order that I can make a dealer sticker and tax disc holder correct for the original dealer that supplied the car. Pontings of Andover supplied this car. Okay, so it's round to the front now. I believe the front reg is already all lined up, it just needs these captives screwing in. So over to stores to get our Phillips, and then I'll just unscrew that at the front and drill out. So here's our drill. No need to paint the holes because the paint shop paint the car. So round to the front, simple job. These are really down to the last little details. There's your Pontings of Andover label. There's our screws. That's the best place I could get them. Again, not at the end, but you do have a little raised platform here. So plate off, drill out. Here we go. Obviously these will be popped out when it's getting painted, but I'll just show you. Oh, hear that? There you go, Bresco.com. Bresco for these. Again, really could do taking that swarf off there. Look. They want the crocky on them really, you know. Oh, hear that? So that's it. Screw that back. Nice. And they just go in really nice. And it just gives you that nice rust-free setup. Just gives you a little bit more of a pro finish. Of course I'll have white caps on, not using them screws, but there's our front end looking tidy, ready to roll out. So we're in episode 30 and we're finished. What a momentous day. Just coming towards the end of September, about the 24th of September, something like that. And that brought us to the end of the shell build. So started in December at some point when it came out, the dippers in November, and we're now in end of September, so 10 months, something like that, it's taken to do to get this from a wreck to a presentable shell. Okay, and we've got them lights lined up nicely, parallel with the back trim, which is what we wanted. And took a little bit of filing around the aperture, a little elongation of the bolt holes, just to kick that lamp parallel. You're never gonna get it completely. It's just a design of the back wings. You look on any Mk3, you'll see variations across the range. Difficult to get. The best we could do is this. Getting this to line up with that requires the boot to go down even more, and then when you do that you're almost completely squashing flat the boot seal rubber, so there's a limit on it. Even when you start knocking the trim seal edge round, just trying to get that exactly there, you could cut the top of the wing and then close it up. It's possible you could do that, a slit in it if you're brave, but I think that it's all right. It's not drastically out, and then the boot sits good. Takes a little bit of force to close the boot. I'll see if I can do it. If I can do it with one hand, it's not that bad. It's got better over time, so I should be able to get this in one. Yeah, that's not bad. I can live with that. That'll ease up as well a little bit when I get a little bit of the lock and a bit more weight in the boot. Not a lot more weight in it when the badges, the plinth and the lock, but a little bit more weight with some paint, more paint on it. I might even put some deadening pads under there. So the end of the shell build. What a time, what a day. Everything marked out. I've just gone around trying to find things to do, but it's running out of jobs. Mirrors on. We were going to have wing mirrors. There was a big debate whether to put them back on. I have got proper brand new Desmo wing mirrors. Look at these, you can understand my dilemma. These beauties. Oh, and Bramble had wing mirrors on it, and I like them because you can set them for your blind spot. So you can have this as your main vision, but you can adjust that one into the notorious blind spot just around this part of the car, which you normally need to have a little blind spot mirror on. But I'm voted out. People think they ruin the lines of the car. Tend to agree with that. It's really been difficult for me not to fit those wing mirrors. I wanted to fit them. You could aftermarket fit them. It's just that if you fit them now and they're no good, it's too late, you've drilled your wing. So keeping it clean. Everyone says that they're useless, but they actually, you can look straight through your screen without having to glance over to the mirror, so it gives you instant vision. I like them for that reason, but I'm so scared about putting them on because I know I'll have 4 mirrors and it could look a bit too Quadrophenia, even though we love Vespas and Lambrettas and Quadrophenia. With all the mirrors, they look great. I love them bikes, but for this car we should maybe keep it clean, play it safe and not have the wing mirrors. I'll miss not having them, but I think it will keep it cleaner. I think everybody's right about that. it was I was outvoted on Patreon. Me personally, if the votes would have gone for wing mirrors and door mirrors combined, all 4, I'd have been fitting them. But as it stands, we are not putting the wing mirrors on, which I kind of like going to miss. You may say it's my car, little Newt said the same, but you're right, Jim, it is. But I just can't bring myself to do it, and I so wanted to. Wing mirrors then. Drawing final thoughts towards the end of the clip, because there's not much for me to do. I'm really happy if we take a longer look at the plinth, applique, and the lights were pretty good. If you have a look at all the cars, you'll find variations. Let's go and see. Even them back ends that we have got chopped off, they're different. Swampy's different, Ruby's different. Ruby sits there, slightly larger gap, maybe not. Tighter bonnet fit, boot fit. Ruby's pretty straight, to be fair. Swampy's probably the worst culprit, I suppose. Not quite as we'd want there, I suppose. You can see the differences around that area. And look, we've got more of a gap there. But unless you're really looking for it, you learn as you go along. Obviously that was the first attempt and not bad. Second attempt even better. Obviously an easier shell. And then this one, a worse shell than Swampy, but with more experience. And not forgetting, of course, everybody who helped along the way to get us here. A lot of people were involved. I've picked up tips and tricks from Patreons, YouTubers, people along the way. So we've done okay. And what a nice position to be in as I prepare now to ship out a lot of these tools which are involved with rebuilding the metalwork, because they're not going to be needed in this workshop now. This workshop now reverts to electronics and front assembly and axle build and stuff like that, giving us all this room once the shell goes off for paint next week. Floor gets repainted here. Decorate the roof and the walls first just by going over with just basically all the signage down, repaint in white. Then when that's painted, then do the floor, repaint in the epoxy floor resin, everything out, everything back in, but only the stuff that we need, and we're good to go on our electronics build, which I know you're going to be looking forward to. The radio build. Here over on the floor is the package for plastic chroming, so everything to do with plastic chroming, including some stuff for the club. Yeah, loads of little bits here for vacuum metallizing, dash binnacle surrounders there. So I'm just about to finish that. I've just got one more little bit of plastic. It's a little lamp indicator. I'm just stripping the old plastic chrome off that in some acid. You can see it's gone green as it's took the copper off. This was actually chrome over plastic as opposed to vacuum metallizing. Ford did 2 versions of those dashboard switches. Some yellow cased ones were just aluminium chrome, and later ones were solid chrome, because you can plate over ABS, you coat it in copper. It's quite an involved process. Ford must have done it for that light fitting, but I'm stripping it back anyway to send away with those parts on the floor. That's really coming to the end. It's going to be Bramble otherwise. All I can say is episode 30, we've done it, everybody. We're out. Should have a little celebration party as we wave the shell out of the workshop for everyone to see for the last time for about 3 months now, till it comes back. And we're hoping then in that 3 months that we'll have maximised the time, and nicely in this unit will be a built clip and axle. There'll be a complete harness built. On this bench will be the electronics department open for business, and we'll get stuff like trim, glass, rubber door seals, all those kind of things lined up and ready. Make sure we've got a good scratch-free glass set for it. New screen going in for the front, clear with a blue tint. All the glass is clear on this, not sundim on this one. Hopefully the seats will be done. Carpet we've got, lots of bits we've got. There's bound to be other things, but we've got a rough plan. We're going to stick to it. Catch you in episode 31, which will most likely be suspension clip build, a complete self-contained episode. Heater box build for another episode. We'll do it that way, so a bit more order will resume, but for now I'll sign out and let you go. Say goodbye to the shell. I think you'll agree it turned out rather nicely. One little last look inside our floor pan, how nicely it came up and everything that we did, the door skins and everything, the doors themselves, all this stuff. What a great shell. All our lines good, everything nice, ready for them boys. I think pretty much everything flush. Really pleased. Proper locking down bonnet. We can pop up and down. Closes nice. It's nice engine bay. All rebuilt. Some little bits of filling work to do. You see the orange arrows to indicate our filling bits. Watch this. Maybe not quite with my fingers. There you go. Bump stops in, nice gaps there, wing antenna, sorry, electric aerial, sorry. Door mirror on, nice coach lines down here. Good to go. Stand back, we'll see you soon. We did good, we did it. How about that? Made up.
So we got one just so I could check who was at the door and answer it, and also it just meant after surgery I didn't have to get up.
So that's the one, lad. The hearty meal. Why am I on the rabbit food? Beans are good for you. Beans are good for you. Radio 4 on, some programs. Camera, CCTVs. Tubby's day out over there. She only just fits in the back of that car. Look at her smoking and flicking that ash out like that. Shocking, that is. You're not going to believe it, she's just chucked a cig out on the floor, both smoking. She only just fits in the back of that car. Shocking. Shocking. Right, up on your phone now. Go out, get them texts in. Perfectly legal to film in public space. No. Well, got your fag, got your text. They're just missing a Burger King, Sean, them look.
You what?
Just missing a Burger King, that woman in the back.
Mm.
Look at these big bad boys of pop. I tell you what, they've cooked them good up, haven't they? How clean is that? That's a clean. What do you reckon? Because it can be hit and miss here. Oh no,
Not too bad today. But I've noticed some what they're using now.
new oils, you mean?
No, they're buying them proper potatoes. but frozen, already cut,
Oh.
and charging the fuck.
Well, I
Because there's a
prefer...
new one that's open on Lord Street. They're doing the same.
Right.
They're buying them in bag frozen rather than buying the potatoes and cutting them, because they've gone up in price. So they thought, right, this way, buy them in frozen and cook them to order. Whereas the Swan, they'll still do them as normal because they're constantly open, busy.
It ain't the real deal if you ain't got a chipper machine.
Exactly.
The thing is, you never get fish and chips. You just get sausage and chips.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was thinking about that that tour, that Genesis tour. You can't call that Genesis tour, can you?
No,
You've only got Steve Hackett.
yeah. Because if Mike's not full,
How can you play Selling England by the Pound if he's not got Peter Gabriel?
and Phil Collins.
Well, I don't think... Was he there at that point? I think he came in after that album, didn't he?
But Phil's come back out of retirement now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Make his mind
He went into retirement now. He's come back out because I think his ex-wife took him to the divorce court.
Take him to the cleaners.
Yeah. And plus, if he's had any young kids, college in it.
Wouldn't have thought his kids would be that young by now. Not exactly yet.
Yeah, but he's been 3 or 4 times. So they've had kids with each one. Roughly.
And then you got... Well,
Grandkids.
have you seen...
They will want to be going to college. That will be it. So you know.
Stuart Goddard, Adam Outs out. He's got a full tour, you know.
Mm.
Do you know what it's called? Kings of the Wild Frontier Tour.
So I wonder if
He's played the whole album, mate. I'm not messing. Plus, your popular hits.
yeah.
Well, what else is he going to play? He ain't going to play B-sides.
Well, he tried to make a comeback in the early 90s, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he had, I think he had one room at the top or something, weren't it?
That's right.
So he might do what if he released anything off that album.
No, I don't know if he wants to get an audience. I don't think he needs to stick to his tried and tested formula.
No. I wonder if he'll have his trusty sidekick, the guitar player. Because he's f***ing the light on.
I can remember Marco Merrick.
Yeah, actually. I've seen him when they've done an 80s review. He is pal old as nowhere, lost it all. Because all the fancy haircuts he had. And he's powered it on.
Your 80s revival. Well, Tony Hadley's having a pop on a cruise ship, isn't he? With Bonnie Tyler, I think. She's got a good voice.
Because he's fishing left now, Spandau Ballet now.
Yeah. I always had a soft spot for Bonnie Tyler. And Cher.
But she'd been originally gone from the 70s.
Cher in the
I know the one.
Dead Ringer for Love video with Meatloaf.
Oh,
He's nice in that.
Before she was all plastic surgery.
Still nice with plastic surgery. Yeah. I know not as good, but
Has to be the one on the ship where she's in that lacy outfit.
oh yeah, that's
If I could turn back time.
turn back time.
That's when,
That's her body.
before she'd gone over the top on
I suppose so. Yeah.
the facelift.
Yeah.
Just had a nip and tuck.
Yeah. Well, she ain't. She had a stint in I think it was Las Vegas. Hey, no, I think Cher's doing a tour. I'm going.
Every day, it'll be a fuck.
How can you mix Led Zeppelin and Cher in this? How can you have Led Zeppelin and Cher in the same conversation? My brain's
Because of her, she's
Something
got
wrong with
some illness that's killing her.
who else?
Shit.
You're joking. Don't take
Something like that, from what I read.
don't take another piece of my childhood away. We've already lost enough.
Oh, she's in a
Well, Bonnie Tyler was going to do a song with Meatloaf. Because Jim Steinman...
She probably dropped out and then they got Cher.
No, yeah, maybe on Dead Ring, I don't know.
Yeah.
Jim Steinman wrote... what song was it he wrote for?
Because
No, he
Cher.
wrote it for Meatloaf,
Mm.
but Bonnie Tyler did it. It was Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Because no one had heard of Cher since she split with Sonny.
No.
She didn't do much. She went out of the spotlight after the split with Sonny. She did a lot with Sonny and Cher. You could tell the nose before the lifts.
Yeah.
She had a big honk of a nose, and then she had it.
I never noticed.
Well, I've got you, babe, but that was pre
I thought she looked good
facelift,
in the
but it was a nose.
Right.
She had a fucking like Barbra Streisand nose, because she was known for a conk.
I think that's just like a...
It was quite big at the tip, and she had it
right.
trimmed down like Jacko. But Jacko went a bit too fucking nose job.
Well, Wacko,
They were all saying there, he's like, you could just pop it on.
Wacko. It's like you said was on about Paul McCartney. He'd bought all the rights, hadn't he?
He bought a lot of fucking rights. But that's what bankrupted him.
That's not why McCartney's going back on the road, surely.
Oh no, McCartney's not. McCartney's always.
He's flush, isn't he? If he ain't got,
He's worth 500 mil.
if he ain't got money, no one has.
No, it was just a thing. I think he managed to get back the Beatles rights.
Did he?
Yeah. Because Jacko went fucking. When Jacko died, he had no money
Right. Spent it all on...
because he spent it all on Neverland and fucking kids.
I like Michael Jackson. He's a good...
Paying it up, out of court settlements, so it didn't go fully to court.
He was a good artist, he was. You can't deny it. He was a good
I don't know,
artist.
but he did that fucking song. I'm saying, planning and Jarvis cock came on the bits.
Oh, yeah. Mooned him, didn't he?
Yeah.
I thought it was a bit harsh on Michael. That, I mean, it's a good...
Yeah, but it was the rumours he came out with all the kids. That he was the same. He came out with all the kids for the Earth song.
Right.
That's what skit. Because they did all that massive rumours. And paying out of court settlements so he didn't go to court. If you're paying someone off, then there's something dodgy.
Yeah.
To keep it out of the And that 2 parts documentary they did, it's just won an Emmy, and the family have come out and criticised it for winning an Emmy. He said it's untrue.
Which documentary?
Leaving Neverland. The 2 kids, the one that was actually from the 80s, early 90s. That was apparently there was a clause that he couldn't reveal anything because of the settlement, but he's dead because he can't take him to court, can he?
Oh, aye, there was a big court case, wasn't there?
Yeah, and then it was out of court settlement, and then there was another one.
Wacko.
HBO did it.
Nice that jacket potato. My water's here, innit? Tasty that. Oh. I might go and see Spandau Ballet. And if Dr. Feelgood will ever tour again.